So, welcome to Developer Diary number 3, I believe, for Intellidiscs for the Atari 5200, my conversion of the classic Intellivision game Tron Deadly Discs. So, I've got a couple of interesting things going on here as I just let the computer players run around. You can see right away that the computer players are now throwing their little disc weapons. Their aim is not good yet. I need to work on that. And another thing I need to fix, and you can see already, is that the enemy discs are opening up the doors on the side, which they should not do. So I do need to fix that up. But the enemy disc system is in place, which is the important part. And I always like to focus on systems first. Get the system working, then work out the details later. So the system is there, it's working, the enemies can attack you. There is currently no hit detection on the player, so you have nothing to fear from these guys as they run around throwing their weapons. The other interesting thing going on is that I now have an animation in place for the human characters, or should I say the program characters. It's the vertical animation, the vertical running animation, and I lifted it pretty closely from the Intellivision original. And that's the only animation there is right now. But again, going back to what I was saying about systems, the animation system is completely in place. Just right now, this is the only animation there is. There's a series of tables that map the direction of movement to the appropriate animation, and right now they all point to this vertical running animation because it's the only one there is. But once I go ahead and make the horizontal running animation, I just have to plug it into the tables, and everything should start working. And the player has that animation as well as I start moving around here. See, I'm using that. And again, it's the only animation there is, so that's how it goes. But that's kind of where we're at right now. That's actually quite a lot of progress. The animation system took a while to iron out and to get it into a state that works right. There's still some things that may need some work, things like hit animations and the whole blocking, ducking system, although I think I'm going to be able to insert those into place pretty easily. I don't expect much of a problem with those. And I did notice a bug as I was testing this earlier. There's something wrong with the disk erasure for dead enemies, but I haven't reproduced that yet, so I don't know exactly what that is. So I'll need to investigate that. But yeah, things are looking pretty good. I think the next thing that's probably in line to do, well, I need to fix that thing with the enemies opening the doors. I need to fix that little issue, but that's pretty easy. I know exactly how to do that. I just got to actually do it. Then I do need to fix the CPU disk aiming algorithm at some point. It's not good. I had an idea. It didn't work out very well. I have a better idea, but I need to actually sit down and work out the math for it. So that needs to be done. I need to start doing hits on the player itself, which means I need to start working on the health system. So in the original game, you could take a certain number of hits before you died, and every time you got hit, you got slower. And there were some enemies that could take multiple hits as well, and they had the same property where they would just get slower and slower, and you'd recover over time. So implementing hit detection on the player involves doing all of that work, and that's going to take some thinking. It shouldn't be too difficult, but I need to figure out what the speeds are and allow for players that will change speed. And that's something I need anyway, because the enemies, the enemies have a variety of speeds as well, so I need to come up with kind of a generalized speed system for the players to handle those. In particular, there are enemies that are slower than others, and the enemies just generally do get faster as time goes on. And there's a special enemy called a leader that speeds up all of the other enemies. So yeah, a lot of stuff on the horizon, but we're getting into more sort of nitty-gritty gameplay details at this point. Because a lot of the I don't know if physics is the right term, but a lot of the physics are there. And now we just got to actually start turning it into a game. I suppose at some point I got to do something about that big 0 up in the top right and actually start keeping score. Unfortunately, the manual for the Intellivision game has a complete score table in it, so I don't need to worry about what the scores what the scoring is, because I can just follow what's in that manual. But there we are. So we got animations and enemies attacking and all kinds of great stuff. So that's where we're at. And hopefully within the next couple of weeks, I'll have a video showing some more interesting stuff.